Very good, Natalie. So let's continue on from our discussion on problem solving. So we were talking about some of the theory and the reference material available to us with the 8 steps. So we had that nice flow chart up on the screen talking about first clarifying the problem, breaking down the problem, working through the PDCA type framework. And so we obviously know this can be intimidating when we first look at it, and especially if we're not steeped in this knowledge or haven't been practicing it. So what we'd like to do on this one is show you pretty quickly how we're able to take hold of the power available to us. And Natalie's going to walk you through how we can build out a CI or continuous improvement coach in ChatGPT and have that get you started on this journey and start asking the right questions based on what we work through with the theory. And then we can obviously give you an example, but would love to get your feedback as you start working through it from your own operating environment. So Natalie, why don't you go ahead and show us there what we can build?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And you can let me know when you see it.
We've
Can
got
you see
it.
my screen? Okay, very good. So I pulled the coaching questions that you shared that we talked about the last time. And we created a little bit of a bot here that's helping us through the process of understanding our problem better. So it's just step one of your 8-step process. And the bot that we created is basically a CI coach that can help someone who's on the floor, somebody who's in the quality lab, anybody at the plant in the absence of their CI personnel, for example, to actually enter the information in readiness for a greater conversation with the CI team later. So this right here on the left-hand side is what was entered in order to create that automated chat. And so we're assigning a role to ChatGPT. We're explaining what the goal is in this particular step and what we're wanting out of it. And then establishing some interaction rules. But the most important part is as we go down is listing all the coaching questions that we would want it to ask the user to ensure that we're identifying the problem correctly. So a couple of examples is basically how the problem was identified, what are some of the KPIs that it's affecting, and so on. So we have about 15 questions that we listed here. And that, once we answer those questions, will generate a problem statement that we can run with and work with the various teams at the factory or at the organization that we're working in. We can.
And those micro nudges, Natalie, can you explain a little bit about that?
So the micro nudges are basically for the bot itself. If it sees some kind of entries, it has the opportunity to ask us questions. So, for example, if there is some lack of clarity on some of the inputs that we're giving it, if you're unsure, we can keep moving and refine later. Is something that the bot can let us know about.
Very
So
good. So
it's just prompts. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
personifying it a little bit. That's
it's yeah, exactly. So what we'll do, and this is what the bot itself looks like. I'll show you on a different screen. Um,
And so you've just obviously you've got some experience with ChatGPT, Natalie. So you're building a GPT within that as part of your Plus account, and
mhm,
once you obviously get the feel for how to do that, but there, as we see it, is how it manifests in your account.
mhm,
And then
mhm,
the example we like to give. So let's think of this as, and we'll see the power of that. If we'd like to have our phone record our conversation and upload that directly in, you can see that microphone icon at the bottom right. So we can dictate and have that be in our huddle meeting or in our shift meeting whenever we're working through our problem solving in real time. So keep that in your mind.
mhm.
But the goal with this is that it can obviously augment or support your team and guide them in the right way, and just even be something they can fall back on and feel like they have a bit more of understanding of what's expected of them. Because we assume good intent, we assume good discussions are occurring at the point of occurrence and where some of these meetings are taking place. But if we could arm them with this type of simple coach that we can build in with the right knowledge base, that's where it really comes to life. So Natalie, if we can take a look at just one of those examples that you were
Yep.
through there from
Yep.
pseudo operating.
So basically the CI coach would look like this. This would be the main page, and we can share the link with anybody who's interested. And we just answer yes. Are you ready? Yes. And then it will just pose the first question on the list of 15 questions that I had shown a few minutes ago. And we have a full example, if I can get to it. We have a full example just to demonstrate how it actually works. So that was the yes that I just entered on a different window. And the first question is, how do you identify the problem? How do you know it exists? Is it visible in some ways? So without really focusing on the answers, it basically takes, for right now, because of our time constraint, we basically answer the questions one by one. The ones that we don't have an answer for, we can skip. The ones that we have data for, like SPC charts, for example, if the problem has been occurring, the oil spill in question in this case has been occurring for just the last month. So if we want to upload, 6 weeks worth of, information data on that, we can do that, and so on. So there's 15 questions that are being asked. And as we answer them, it's accumulating and compiling the data. And then the output is basically your problem statement with what we know, what we don't know, what's in scope, what's out of scope, and then some potential things to chase after that could be beneficial. So in the case of an oil leak, for example, some of the assumptions that need to be validated is, what kind of a mechanical defect is happening with the motor for it to have the oil leak, as well as a little bit earlier, I wrote that there's a burning smell that we noted. So it's mentioning those things. And at the very end of the problem statement, it also gives you a clarity score, meaning that the amount of information that was given is good enough, 85% good, in order to produce a problem statement that we can adopt, run with, and have discussions with the various teams on.
Yeah, fantastic, Natalie. And again, the power of this is that we can use it for dialogue. So if I'm a production manager, Natalie's quality manager, whatever the roles are, this can be our guide and facilitate that discussion, be answering those questions in real time, inputting it like we had there on the screen. Or even for myself, if I'm on the floor, I've got my phone, I'm walking around, seeing a problem occurring, I can also be filling in that detail and that can come into whatever meeting we're using to escalate that issue. So you can already start to get a feel of how much knowledge is available to us with this and how much guidance we can see from it. So we'll obviously include the link to this coach in the video description. We'd love you guys to start experimenting with it and testing it out. And it just hopefully is giving you a bit of a flavor of what's possible. And we'll continue to take it further. But thanks for joining.
Thank you.